right, breaking inputs coming in. This as Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh has held a meeting with his US counterpart, Secretary Pete Hegseth in Kuala Lumpur. India and US have now signed a new 10-year defense framework. In this meeting between Rajnath Singh and Pete Hegseth, and in a CNN News 18 mega exclusive news break, we are learning that India and US defense cooperation is on track. This will include strategic logistics, joint production and tech transfer from core pillars of the deal. This marks a major push to counter China's influence across the Indo-Pacific region. This will also deepen India-US military interoperability, allowing seamless use of each other's bases, even logistics and maintenance facilities. Let's quickly go across to Akash Sharma, who's joining me with the latest details. So, Akash, expand and shed more light on what has been achieved during this meet between the defense ministers of both the countries.
Right. So it is after the phone call that happened in the month of July between both the leaders, and today they are meeting, when Raksha Mantri Rajnath Singh is in Malaysia, to take part in ASEAN's defense ministers meeting plus. And now we are learning that this important agreement, that is 10 years defense framework, in fact, it has been renewed. Earlier it was from 2015 to 2025, and now in 2025, both the nations have signed this important agreement, which will allow both of them, for the sort of cooperation that they are looking for in the field of defense. It is also important, Akanksha, because of the fact, and as you rightly pointed out, our investigation editor Manoj Gupta is also reporting that how it is important given the fact that at this point in time we have players in Southeast Asia, in fact in South Asia as well, where they are trying to expand their reach and trying to dominate the area. At such a time, US has once again renewed the particular agreement, and we know the sort of relation, the sort of development, in fact, in the relation between India and United States for last few months. And this agreement is coming at such a crucial time. It is very important development, and also because of the fact, that India at this point in time is using a number of equipment and platforms, where we are using parts from United States, or in future we are looking for this sort of cooperation.
Right.
Similarly, as far as defense industry is concerned, so United States is also looking for the sort of cooperation, interoperability, as you rightly pointed out. This agreement is going to help. We have multiple clauses in the particular agreement, and these clauses somewhere help both the countries to have better coordination and cooperation as far as defense sector is concerned. And that's why this a particular agreement is very important. And today both the leaders, in the presence of these leaders, this agreement has been signed.
You mentioned the timing, and that of course is of particular concern, Akash, because we've also seen how Pakistan has been making those overtures when it comes to defense cooperation, now looking towards the United States as much as it looks towards China, if not more. Having said that, what will this extension of a 10-year defense cooperation be in terms of the messaging going out to Islamabad?
Right. So you see, Akanksha, in fact, yesterday I had, a word with Mr. Sanjeev Sanyal, who is the secretary, and in fact, one important member of the Economic Advisory Committee of the Prime Minister. And he mentioned that our, focus is our interest. Our priority is our interest. And even when we talk about the sort of, things that are happening, for example, the sort of relation that we are seeing and the kind of activities that are happening between Pakistan and United States, India is very clear that we will take care of our interest. And in our interest, this is one major development. Also, as far as, other activities are concerned, so we already know that how trade negotiations are happening between India and United States, and there are a number of positive things that are happening. We are expecting, some sort of conclusions in the days to come. But this particular development at such a time, at such a crucial juncture, Akanksha, is very important. It will somewhere help both India and United States.
True. Stay with me, Akash. Let's also play out some more reactions for all our viewers. Let's listen in.
3 बार टेलीफोनिक वार्ता हमारी हो चुकी है, और जब आपसे एडीएम के साइडलाइंस पर व्यक्तिगत रूप से मिलकर मुझे बेहद खुशी हुई है। और इस अवसर पर डिफेंस फ्रेमवर्क की शाइनिंग, मैं समझता हूँ कि उसके परिणाम स्वरूप आज एक नए अध्याय का प्रारंभ होगा। और मेरा पूरा विश्वास है कि आपकी लीडरशिप में भारत और यूएस के रिश्ते और अधिक मजबूत होंगे।
I want to express the gratitude to the Minister Singh, for his time, for the partnership we have with India. It's one of the most consequential, the U.S.-Indian relationship in the world. And our strategic alignment is built on shared interests, on mutual trust, and a commitment to a secure and prosperous Indo-Pacific, which is precisely the conversation we had. It was the world's oldest democracy and the world's largest. And this new 10-year defense framework which we signed is ambitious. It's a significant step for our two militaries, a roadmap for deeper and even more meaningful collaboration ahead. It underscores America's long-term commitment to our shared security and our strong partnership between.
All right, let's quickly go across to retired Major General K.K. Sinha, who's also a defense expert, joining us with more insights on this very crucial meeting that's just taken place. So, Major General Sinha, as you heard what Pete Hegseth and, of course, our own Raksha Mantri, Shri Rajnath Singh, had to say, they've all lauded and also spoken about how this is underscoring the defense partnership that both the countries are currently sharing. How do you see this arrive at a very critical juncture in terms of timing this when the trade talks are on? There's Pakistan looking towards the United States for its own strategic cooperation. How do you put this into perspective?
Good morning and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind,
Yeah,
sir.
I think it is one of the strategic, steps taken towards, which is concrete. It is in the form of agreement for the 10 years. And mind you, a 1 decade agreement, and when we see the timing, if you take it that 2035, that is also, actually synchronizing with India's actual aim to, make our military the world-class military. And when the Defense of War, Pete Hegseth, has signed it in along with the Rajnath Singh, Asia. Mind you, this government is there, for a time period. And even if the same government comes up, it will be very nice. Otherwise, this is between India and Pentagon. And, Department of War, they call it, and Peter Hegseth. So I think it's very good. This will include strategic logistic and joint productions and technical, technology transfer.
True.
From, our deal, which is there basically, if you see, it is in the domain of air power, which we have got, and all, our aircraft, which is for logistics, generally, and surveillance. This is, we are dependent on, more or less a dependency is there in whether you take it C-130, Globemaster, thing like that, it is all coming, including the Chinook coming from there. The air power is the main, and we have also taken the rapid drones. So I think it is a great, great push, and especially for the Indo-Pacific when we talk about it.
Right. That too at a time, Major General Sinha, I'm sure you will agree, when the Quad was to be hosted by India, but none of that's happening at the moment.
That's correct. Basically the Quad summit was supposed to be in the month of November, or it would have pushed to December. But there are certain reasons. But mind you, the Quad, other thing, our foreign minister has been in America. There is also Quad meeting, where the things are going. We are doing everything in the Quad, other than the head of meeting between Trump and Prime Minister Modi. He was supposed to come. But I think that time will also come when we will, probably, because the reset has to take place. If the reset is taking place, then we should not, because these, this tariff and trade war, these are nothing, going to be a permanent feature. These are temporary and transient, because I think Donald Trump, feels it that the deal is the main issue. But it's not going to carry on, because the way America has been also affected by this.
Many thanks to you, Major General Sinha, for sharing those precious insights with us. Quickly shifting